Well, thank you very much, Chris, and welcome back to the Brand Room at the Goshen County Fairgrounds. Ryan Caith and Ron Kaufman bringing you live interviews throughout the week. Again, we'll be here throughout the end of the fair. At least we'll be here through Friday before the junior livestock auction on Saturday. So we'll be talking with our area youth. Today, though, we've got a superintendent with us, so good to talk to them, and I'll let Ron Kaufman introduce him to you.
Thank you, Ryan. We do have Matt Halbrun with us, and we'd like to ask him a few questions. He'll give you some background on his job and what his responsibility is. And I think, Matt, it's a little tough this year because actually Goshen County doesn't have a 4-H agent, do they?
No, right now we're without the extension agent for the county, but we've just all pulled together and everybody's pulling the extra weight and getting things done.
So this is terrific, Matt, and the rest of the people out here, most of them are volunteers, aren't they, Matt?
Yes, all the superintendents, we all volunteer to help out and make sure these shows run good for these kids, and making sure that the pens are set up, the show rings are there, just making sure that everything runs smoothly for those kids while they exhibit their projects.
So we do have like 4-H superintendents of each livestock area and the static exhibits, and also the FFA advisors. They have their own responsibility from Southeast and also from Torrington. Do you know, is the Southeast for FFA, is he hired? Is he here at the fair?
Yes, I believe Mr. Buckholtz was hired to fill that position, and he is here this week assisting and stepping in and learning his role here as well.
So we may have to talk to him later, Ryan, check it out and see his background. So Matt, your background, I remember you as a youth. You're an adult now, and I'll probably still treat you like a kid. I remember you were in the 4-H program. What did you show?
Yeah, when I was in the 4-H program, I'm probably going to date myself here, but yeah, I was in the 90s. But yeah, I showed market swine at that time, and I can always remember that was probably one of the biggest numbered animal projects at the time, and it was a great experience. I mean, learning how to care for animals and then how to come out and show them and
your responsibility, and you still have a lot of that responsibility with your job.
Yep.
So hopefully that carries over. You are the goat superintendent, and
correct.
There's two areas. You have dairy goats and boar goats, correct? Or meat
goats.
breed.
Yep.
Meat breed. Give us a little background on the meat breed. What do they weigh, and where do they purchase those animals? Can you tell us that?
So with the boar goats, for our market show, they have to weigh 50 pounds, and then there is no maximum weight limit. So this year, I believe, thinking back on the weights, I think our lightest one that is in the market show, I believe, was 53 pounds, and our heaviest was 110.
Ooh, that's good.
Yes. And of course, we did have those few feeder goats too that didn't make the 50-pound minimum, but we'll still let them out, and they'll get a show and complete their project in that regards.
So that happens also like in sheep and swine, I believe.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and then they have the opportunity to choose if they want to go to state, or if they do well, they'll probably go to state, some of those boar goats. And also they have a choice to sell at the livestock sale?
Yes, the meat goats can sell through the junior livestock sale. The dairy goats, they do not. So
they won't sell. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but they do. You have Nubians, and what breeds do you have?
Oh, we have. I think there's some Nigerians over there, Nubians. I can't. Alpines, I believe.
So there's a lot of breeds. A lot of breeds for those young people, and a lot of them, I assume, for their breeding stock, raise their own livestock to show in the future, especially with dairy.
I believe they do, yes.
Yeah. Where are the goats located this year?
So the goats here on the Goshen County Fairgrounds, they're on the east side of the facility, just north of the poultry barn and to the east of the beef barn.
Okay, is that kind of a new area, or that?
No, I believe since I took over as superintendent last year, that's where we've been. They used to have another barn, but that one was torn down, and,
Okay.
and they've been there since I've been around here.
Okay,
Since
so they've been
2018.
there a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate you being a volunteer, and that's very important in the 4-H program. These boar goats, you divide them up into classes, right?
Yes, correct.
Depends. So that's when is your show?
Our show is today at 4 p.m.
So you're going to be busy. Have you divided the boar goats into classes already?
Yes, the classes have been divided. I believe I have 4 divisions, and I believe a total of 10 classes.
Okay, that's very good. So come on out at 4. It'll be a little cooler, we hope, and watch that program. Also, I was gonna ask you. You took a little vacation from your work, I assume.
Yeah, I had to take a break from my my regular full-time job at the City of Torrington Water Department.
So now this is a nice vacation. When you go back to work, you need a vacation after this, huh?
Correct.
Yeah. So how many children do you have? Are they showing goats?
Yeah, I've got 2 kids, and they both show in the market goats.
How old are they?
My son is 13, and my daughter is 9.
Okay, so they're into it. So they have basically now, I think, 3 divisions in the 4-H program. There's intermediate, there's
Yeah, junior, intermediate, and senior, and then also we have the FFA division.
okay.
So those will be the 4 classes of showmanship.
Okay. You have a judge from out of the state, I assume, or is he local?
I
Or he
did
or
not-
she, I should say.
Yeah, it's a her. I'm not sure where she's from, but yeah, she's here, and I believe she judges all species this week.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's good. Pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, could you tell us how you guys go find judges?
That is actually something that the youth show committee does.
Okay.
As the superintendents, we don't do that part of it. So, I believe the youth show committee handles that part of it. But
So during show day, you also have other volunteers, I assume.
yeah, I've got a lot of support staff that they're kind of behind the scenes and helping out. And
They're important people.
oh, they are, yes. Whether they range from 4-H leaders to the FFA advisors. So yeah, I just want to give a huge thanks to those
Yeah.
people that help out as well.
And I think that's very important. We've always been very fortunate in Goshen County to have those 4-H and FFA volunteers. It's very important to that program and for our children. Those kids have to learn to lead those goats and feed those goats. How do they prepare a boar goat? I assume they have to do some exercising.
Yeah, kind of like anything. I mean, you gotta. What I was always told was a show animal is essentially an athlete. You gotta exercise them to build that muscle and get them trained to lead, to brace.
So there's a lot of responsibility for those kids. And one thing, they have to get up early in the morning and do it when it's cool, and probably
For sure.
do chores at night, and also, and maybe have to, when it cools down, take care of those animals. So.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you coming in, Matt, and it's good to see you again. As Matt said, I can remember him as a kid showing pigs, and that kind of dates me. I'd like to turn that my age around to 28 instead of 82. So we thank you very much, and we appreciate all the volunteers, and we encourage people to come out and watch. It is a little warm, but there's a lot of activities going on. The sheep show's going on right now, and then like Matt said, you'll have the goat show. Will they show the boar goats and then the dairy?
The dairy goat will actually be on Friday morning.
Okay, it's a different time.
Yeah. I'm also the superintendent for the dairy cattle. And
Oh, okay.
so we'll have those 2 shows on Friday morning. I believe they start at 8 a.m. The dairy goats will start first, and they will be over by the the poultry barn is where their show will be. The dairy cattle, we had a change of venue with them this year. So if you come out to the fairgrounds and you're looking for the dairy cattle, they are actually on the north end of the Rendezvous Center. So if you want to come out there and check them out there, I know those kids would appreciate you coming through and seeing their projects. And then they will show in the grass area immediately east of their barn.
Oh, okay. Do you have quite a few? Now that's something in Goshen County. You have quite a few dairy animals, dairy cows.
Dairy cows, I think we had 13 that came in for fair this year.
Oh, that's really
So-
good for Goshen County.
Yeah, and they range, I mean, from a heifer calf.
So we encourage you to come out and see that. I did see that they're north of the Rendezvous Center. So come on out and look. They're pretty gentle. And I think you have all types, but I don't know if you have any Holsteins, but I think you have some Jerseys over there and Guernseys. There's a variety of breeds. Come out and learn a little bit where your milk comes from.
Yeah, in fact, the kids, they've got a trivia set up that they'll ask you a question and they got some little prizes for you too if you get the answer correct.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah.
So come on out and join them.
Yeah, real quick before we let you go, Matt, you talk about the volunteers out here, which is great that we have so many. Could you tell listeners if somebody is interested, who could they get a hold of out here to come help out?
So if they want to come help out, I would say they would need to talk to Lori Schaefer. She's the youth show coordinator. I would start there and check with her, and then they'll get you placed if you're willing to help.
Sounds good.
And we're going to try to invite her in. I think she's going to be on after the parade tomorrow, Ryan. Hopefully, we'll interview her tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll
and
work.
Tell us her position. And I do thank the volunteers. It's been a tough year because they don't have a 4-H agent. I think they're in the process of hiring somebody, the county and the state of Wyoming, the University of Wyoming. So hopefully we'll have some direction there. But one thing that's nice, them volunteers are all qualified, just like Matt here. He's been, like I say, he's been in 4-H through as a youngster, and he kind of knows the ropes and what it takes. And it's nice that they work with these children.
Yeah. Yep. Well, thanks for coming in, Matt.
Yeah, thank you guys. If I could put in one more plug, I know
Sure.
you mentioned it
Yep.
at the beginning, Ryan, but the junior livestock sale is Saturday, and I believe that starts at 9 a.m.
Yep.
And I just want to say thank you to all the buyers that we do have come to that. And I mean, it's open to the public. I'd like to invite you out just to see these kids that they've showcased. And just thank you again.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And Matt just reminded me of something too, Ryan. At 12:45 Thursday, which is tomorrow, in the Frontier Shelter, they have the 4-H static exhibit auction for 4-H and FFA kids. So that's very interesting. The kids will sell their projects that they made, some of their projects, and that money those kids usually use to go to trade school or to college. They really don't waste that money. Most of those 4-H kids and FFA kids are pretty responsible in saving their money that they receive from these auctions.
Yep.
And a lot of them, I think if I'm right, Matt, I know kids used to save that money to buy their next year's project.
Yeah, I know that's what we do with our kids is we save it over, and that way they can get started next year. So.
And purchase those animals.
Yep, purchase the animals, have some for feed, and it's.
So another question I do have is, a lot of these animals, are they purchased within our Goshen County, like the dairy project, like their boars and?
So some of the goats, which that reminds me of another thing too on the show. But yes, we do have, I believe we have 7 or 8 local breeders that raise the boar meat goats. And I believe we have 31 locally raised goats. And we have a show after our regular market show. We call it the Goshen County Bred and Fed Meat Goat Show. They do the same thing for the lambs, and I believe they do that also for the beef.
They do, I think.
And so yeah, that to me that's another great show to have, just because it's showcasing. I mean, what Goshen County, has. They've raised them here, they've fed them here, and it's just those are the only goats that are going to be in the ring at that time. So that's always a fun show to have and to see.
And I know years ago, the first and second year lamb show was started, and all those lambs are purchased locally to start those kids to see if they like that project. We'll try to have somebody come in and kind of explain that program too. It's interesting, and it's an ideal way for a youngster if he wants to learn and to show sheep, and if he wants to stay in it. That's the way most of these programs are. It's a good way to feel and see what animals they like.
Yeah, for sure. And I know this year too, I believe this was the first year that the swine project is doing a first and second year program as well. So I don't know if we'll ever get it going to the goats, but it would sure be nice to do that, to just give these kids an opportunity. And it takes a little bit of the legwork out too for them, because I believe they bring the animals for the kids, and that way they're not having to go out and search for them. And
they started that program when I was an agent in the 90s, and those kids had to draw for their lamb. I don't know if it's still that way, and I assume that's the way they do the swine and the sheep. And then they give them some education for those how to feed and how to show, etc. So it's a worthy program. Takes a lot of time, but it's worthy. So again, Ryan, I'd like to thank Matt for giving us a little time here. He's busy with his show coming up, but thanks a lot for coming in, Matt.
No, yeah, thank you guys for having me, and appreciate you guys out here doing this as well, getting some of those kids out on the air as well. So
Yeah, that's fun. Well, thanks for coming in.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Grandpa, should we go over? You want to go over the schedule for us today for our listeners if they're interested here at the fair?
Yeah, today, the sheep show, I've heard them, they're announcing, I hear them calling their classes like the medium weight and lightweight, etc. That started at 8, and it's right here in the grass arena. And then at 8 a.m. also, the poultry barn, they had the rabbit show. We had some of those kids explain yesterday about the rabbits. And at noon, the poultry show, and at 4, they have them, as Matt mentioned, the market goat show and the Goshen County bred and fed goat show, which he talked about. So those are basically a lot of the activities going on today. You might explain some of the event schedules also.
Yeah, on the event side of things today, they've got the American Ninja Warrior course going. I believe that's over in the grass area towards the east end of the fairgrounds. Then they're underway right now in the pavilions, the Rising Champions timed event jackpot. Then later on today at the sheep barn, they'll have the lamb barbecue and Platte Valley Bank ice cream social. Then at 7 in the show ring, they'll have the Goshen County Sheep Lead Contest, and they've also got the Ninja Warrior Youth Tournament going on today as well. Again, we'll have these interviews for you at 1 o'clock today, and then we'll have one tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then one on Friday morning for you. We'll be interviewing the 4-H and FFA participants. Another note for our listeners, too, the 4-H building visiting hours. Today it's from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m., then Thursday from 11 to 8, and Friday 9 to 6. And also the Ag Hall visiting hours today is from 9 to 8, and then Thursday and Friday 9 to 9. So go check out those exhibits over there. And plenty to do here at the fair. If you want the full schedule, you can find it on our website at goconow.com. But that should do it here this morning from the fairgrounds. For Ron Kaufman, I'm Ryan Keith. Thanks to Chris Jenkins back at the studio. We'll send it to you at Kerm FM.